Hey, YouTube, this is Team Rosemary, Warren, the judge. I'm here to give you a deck profile of Synchro Fusionist, which is the deck that I love so much. And I have nothing really else to say, so I'll get into the deck profile. First, 3 Synchro Fusionist. Obviously, it's the card that makes you win the game. There's nothing else to say.
Wow.
3 Level Eater. It's deck out fodder for when you when your opponent max sees you, and it's also to extend your plays really. So you always want to run 3, so that way you can get it to the grave as quick as possible. Speaking of getting to the grave as quick as possible, there's Power Giant. It's a shitty card, but the only reason why you run it is because it gets cards from your deck from your hand to the grave, which is the deck's biggest problem. Next up, Gem Knight Lazuli. Basically, it's a level 1, so that way you can special summon it with like Junk Synchron. Other than that, it's probably your best choice for a Gem Knight for the Brilliant Fusion. And then for the light, you run a Performance Trick Clown because it's a free summon, and a Ghost Ogre. Along with the Ghost Ogre, you have 2 more E-Tele targets, Recover and Frankenderp. Frankenderp's the non-tuner, and Recover is the level 1 tuner to make level 5 or level 8 synchros usually. And then for the rest of the level 1 tuners, you got Glow Up Bulb, Synchron Resonator, and Jet Synchron. Glow Up Bulb, obviously, because it's the best level 1 tuner in the game. This one, well, it extends your plays when you draw it. You can special summon it as long as there's a Synchron on the board, and then there's Jet Synchron, which, like Power Giant, can discard a card from your hand to special summon itself, and then you'll get a card in grave, which is one of the best things for this deck. Then there's the small little warrior engine thing, Junk Synchron and Doppel Warrior. Doppel Warrior is shitty, but it's another level 2, and can give you tokens, so it quote-unquote extend your plays again. And Junk Synchron, it's another shitty card that you have to run. And then there's the zombie engine, the 2 Uni Zombie, the Plague Spreader, and the Mizuki. I think this is the best ratio because 2 Uni Zombie, because you only need 1 really, but you actually want to draw it sometimes. Other than that, you don't want to draw this, and you don't want to draw this. And now for the spells. The best card in the deck that lets you Trish 10 times. Well, not really 10 times, 6 times max. Desynchro. It makes you able to Boxia. You can do it on Boxia to bounce back a Trish again, or you can just bounce back a Trish again through this. And basically, it makes you Trish more often. Or you can just use it to get a Pot of Greed off of Formula Synchron. And then for the fusions, 3 Brilliant, 2 Instant, and 2 Refusion. Brilliant Fusion, obviously, for the Gem Knight to get extra normal summons. You got 2 Instant Fusion for the Norden, and this for the Norden again. You get it from the grave. The reason why I run 2 of these is because late game, yeah, there is a late game sometimes, and that's the funny thing. But especially if you are grinding against, I guess, Kozmos, this can pretty much make sure that you can get back into the game if you're grinding against them. And then for the more combo pieces, 2 E-Teles and a Reasoning. Reasoning is perfect in this deck because every card or every monster is a different level, so they don't know what to call. The people who actually know this deck, sometimes they call 2, just for the Synchro Fusionist. But really, all of that's pretty ineffective because usually you can hit the 1s or the 3s, any other number. And then there are the E-Teles. Well, there's obvious. I ran 3 E-Tele targets. And then for the last cards of the deck, 4 1-ofs. Upstart, of course, 39 card deck. 1 for 1. You run a bunch of level 1s to summon. And it also sends cards from your hand to the grave, so that's perfect. And then Soul Charge is insta-win, and Foolish Barrels, it's obvious. Now for the extra deck, one Norden and one Seraphonite. No need to explain that. 2 Formula. They're basically pot of greeds with a Librarian. 1 Tatsunoko. I run 2. I used to run 2 back when this deck first was showcased, but I realized that the second one doesn't really come up that often. So yeah. Accel Synchron and Librarian for the 5s. Basically, this guy dumps Jet Synchron and sometimes Jug Synchron if you have to, and then this guy, this is like your heart and soul of the deck, really. And then there's another Pot of Greed, which can lead into Crystal Wing, which is not in the extra deck, but it's in the side deck, and I'll talk about that later. And there's Ancient Fairy, Yazi, and Boxia. Ancient Fairy allows you to summon more Omegas. This is to get into this, and that's the only reason why you run it. This bounces back your Trish. 3 Omegas, and then a Trish. That's pretty much what the deck does. For the side deck, it's really a generic side deck for anything, really. So like Crystal Wing and Black Rose. Black Rose is for Monarchs, and this is for Kozmo. And then 2 more Ghost Ogres for the Pendulum matchup. It's very good against them. Pop Monkey board. 3 Maxi, because Burning Abyss. You want to always have this against Burning Abyss. And I don't even know what I'd put this against. Like, I guess Burning Abyss. And I guess like the random rogue decks that run Exceeds. This card is for Monarchs, Kozmo, Burning Abyss, and pretty much every deck. And then Super Quantums if you happen to run into them. And then 3 Twin Twister for anything that you know that they're gonna side Floodgates. Pretty much, and I guess Monarchs is also. That's another Monarch out. And that's pretty much the deck.